Saga Jafla, Metosu no, me baby to aso. We did not pray as we and uncabo and a medical Sampa mine. Say,
Mr. Speaker, let me distinguish between security and chieftaincy.
Several other persons who wanted to come to his aid were warned by the police to stay off, or else they would equally be gunned down, including their deceased own children.
These things are crafted and well documented in the Chieftaincy Act as to his control over such areas.
Mr. Speaker, I also want to appeal to Osajifo Osiadeyo Ajimambedu II. He is the president of the Buno Regional House of Chiefs, and this thing is happening right in Buno Ahafo. Osajifo is a high court judge.
We are restricted to maintaining the peace. We cannot determine a matter of chieftaincy. So it starts from Asante Mine Council, it comes down to Sampa Traditional Council, and therefore what RESEC and the police will do is to ensure that peace is not disturbed.
Sampa bihatia Oheneba Media open news papa Oheneba Media and somewhere kwaswo Oheneba Media asem papa wo ho Oheneba Media asem kase bi asie Oheneba Media Sampa wo mu oi Oheneba Media Sampa wo mu obi ametie yen
Oheneba Media ni the CEO of Oheneba Media. Minu yanom Ghana for ehunu bi penti sa wo discuss beko akomo abusuafo ana wo de beko akoto account mu Ghana emfansi obia so sese de tap send ya na obia eyusu na wo de send discuss so a enye de ne kra eno anse wafa wo mobile phone no akọ Play Store ana App Store no wa download tap app na go mobile phone so kayo sa wo de send discuss no a edru bia obubusa so promo code ya de eno ane sa wo de wo hene ba keka hye obema £5 ana €5 aka osika More America and Canada ne de wubenya $10 Oheneba keke ni nti ade ma manije ho kora ne se obo osika ho ban ma untua interest bia o send so a sibaka kra bi na akoto mobile wallet so ana bank account e wo Ghana enti menu yanom Ghana fo am wo Europe UK Canada and America tap send ya no bia fan send diska isan se Oheneba je ni makon me ne mabusua ya gia tum dada tap send papa no
Ghana de shemaima Oheneba Media ahwefo abusuan mamu ina kwaba e ba Oheneba Media eso yegusu a ya yesum Ghana man ene biase man nyina empanyi na kan yo etie nyante ye de ye jai cheso a abusuan enye yie kro bia asante kotoko hene yewura de otekra ne bra wo maso asante man nyina ewura na nyankwada ni nyansa enim de na badaye ne tema yo de chiche na asante man enunti abude bia akunya to asante man mu a yewura e makwan Emma dishim nantia ye sefata no wonyinara e de wawa ne koduro himanim na de sefata no yewura boa no de nese akunya so ama bibia awieye enchai e na Sampa enkunya ho nsensem efiri afimpemienu ene enson mu ya oman na ote akunya so saabre ekura na afi na ho behia se foforo ba betena akunya so se Sampa manhene are Sampa mine so e de ama yewura otumfo seti otosomienu na ensem ibe pie yewura nim esanse Sampa yewura ekuro na boten to boase ya asem no a eboai emasomdwe bai amwa body shape dantie ba ko a sefata se yemfa nsi akunya so se Sampa manhene no hwe Sampa so enfa ma yewura santene no nti aye bosum ye etwa mu ya na da neto so aduasa na fananom chidom feku ye wa santeman ene kumasimu wonyinara ekohyiam wo Sampa ya yeyi de shebrantia o sefata na ene si akunya so ene kire kro no se Sampa manhene ye brepem beba na wabe swai e de ache yewura santene na afi na hinye no adimu ama bibia awie peye na bu adwumade ne koso abusuanim se ye nuasem se mrantie bi ya wono nso eye isusu wo ya de hye okrom ho na wo kire se nipa no a wo ba bedi akunya no anase asem a yewura santene aka ama so bibia ba ogitum a enye yi eno ndo ye ntom menteme ho ase kakra pinche ema ekobia ase nipa ba ko bi hwere ne kra nkwa ema nipa benso de onso prepare ya na enya asam ketu akra enam menteme ho ase a efa bi ede eba ye nti na asem no abusa didimu a akwakopie mu ewo Ghana ye mrashi bedwafie ya mrashi bedwani ogina ho de ma de hye ye wo German North German etifi abato empeswa so onimonyamfo Frederick yaw ahenkra wono ene machibedwani wo ho ede ma de hye wo Sampa tembo na ka se sa German etifi abato empeswa so na ahenkro ene Sampa ya ye ka ho asem na nanom afei machibedwani for ya e wo Ghana ma mu hia ye e wo man machibedwa fie no machibedwani ogina wo de ma de hye wo German north ade asem yi ebeto dwa ya na wo kyerem se wodi ya kakra esan se asem a aba na ma this year bi actually tankwa no na nadwen aye ne se asem wan campaign for bambofo ebetimi asia no na wo se brand na onya enkra edifini krom Sampa ya na this year ni bi o kire se sa dwumadi e bekoso yi efa bi si won tiase ema de yewura santene ayi no ya kese won me se fata se otena kunwa so Sampa man so no omo mpene ema ne medi akunwa nti no wa dwen po se o de mentimi wase beba ema na kre otu anama ko obo regional minister ho wo ye ne kasai afi regional security council ye omo na hwe bambo so e wo mantam ne mu afi won ye hwe interior ministry afi national security ministry ni won nyina se nka omwa e ma so dwemra se de be ya mentimi wase bia e ma na so won nyina no ye o de ba ye ene se obonika asem bi se situation no is under control na so onim se bibia ni ho ye betimi asi na so ko ba se mentimi wase asi ama this year bi ashire ne kra enkwa na afi binum so prepare no ha adwen pa ya enya asam keto abusu ayenkwae na yenkotie woni wonyamfo Frederick yaw ahenkra ono ne machibedwani ogina ho de ma de hye ye wo German atifi abato on pese aso ya Sampa ene ahenkro yenkotie no asem wo de to dwa e wo machibedwa fie ye ba ye beto aso.
Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity to bring your attention and that of this August House on the chieftaincy impasse, which has resulted in the demise of one person and 7 other persons sustaining various degrees of injuries on the 30th of November 2023 in Sampa. Sampa is a town in the Bono region of Ghana on the border with Côte d'Ivoire. It is the capital of German North District and formerly the site of the slave market. It was the capital of the Akan state of German in the late 15th century. It is the biggest border town in Ghana with a population of over 40,000. They speak Nafara language and equally speak Twi as a second language because Sampa is a cosmopolitan society where a lot of economic activities take place. Nafara is spoken in Banda, part of Tyne district, and Bundugu district of Côte d'Ivoire. It is the leading producer of cashew in Ghana. Wow. Mr. Speaker, Sampa over the past 16 years has experienced a protracted chieftaincy litigation after the demise of Nana Professional II, the immediate past Dormaahene of Sampa Traditional Council, on 8th May 2007 over the attempt to find his successor. Mr. Speaker, despite this protracted litigation, all parties to this litigation have coexisted and lived peacefully without any skirmishes until somewhere November this year, when His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II, the Asantehene, gave a ruling on this dispute before him in favor of one of the litigating parties, which sparked a clash between the litigating parties, resulting in members of both parties sustaining various degrees of injuries due to the exchange of firearms, machetes, stones, and other weapons. The first of its kind in the history of Sampa. The Ghana Police Service, with a swift intervention, was able to restore calm and peace. Mr. Speaker, Sampa remained relatively peaceful until the last week of June 2023, when a notification letter came out purporting to install and install a paramount chief of Sampa Traditional Council between 30th to 1st December as being the directive from Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II. Mr. Speaker, this notification raised tension in Sampa because the other party, who supposedly lost the case in Manshia, said they were never satisfied with the verdict from Otumfuo Osei-Tutu II and considered it as a distortion of the history of Sampa, and for that matter, they will use every means to stop the said installation because they perceive the purported installation as an imposition. Mr. Speaker, according to them, they consider the installation as an imposition because the case was reinstated in the Bruno Regional House of Chiefs, where the litigation was originally pending, until Otumfuo asked them to withdraw the litigation for an amicable settlement at his palace. Mr. Speaker, I began receiving series of calls from my constituents about the looming danger which led to the closure of shops, people hiding in their rooms, and several others fleeing the town for the fear of their life as a result of the possible clash between the two parties. I quickly called the district chief executive and the regional minister to ascertain the situation. The regional minister directed me to speak to his regional coordinating director, and that he was in the best position to brief me on the situation. I spoke with the regional coordinating director as directed by the regional minister. The regional coordinating director's response was that they are aware of the situation, and for that matter, he has summoned an urgent regional security council meeting, after which he will brief me of the outcome of the meeting. Mr. Speaker, I called him the following day after the urgent RESEC meeting, and the response was that the said installation will take place, and that RESEC has planned to provide security for a smooth and peaceful and a successful installation and instrument, and that it was an order from above. I quizzed him whether he is aware of the injunction order placed by the Bruno Regional House of Chiefs restraining the said instrument and its security implications, and he repeated the answer that it was an order from above and that the RESEC could do nothing about it. Mr. Speaker, I quickly left Parliament and went to the offices of the National Security Minister and the Interior Minister for their intervention. Looking at the tension, the fear of the people losing their lives, and the national security implications, since Sampa share a border with Côte d'Ivoire, taking cognizance of the current terrorist situation on our borders. Mr. Speaker, the National Security Minister told me that he is aware of the situation, and it is within the ambit of the RESEC to contain the situation. I placed a call to him the following morning, and he repeated the same response that the regional minister and her RESEC have assured him of their preparedness and readiness to contain the situation and its excesses. Mr. Speaker, on the eve of the program, the dissatisfied party, according to the information at hand, decided to disrupt the program, which the police resisted after several hours of persuasion. This led to an exchange of guns between the dissatisfied party and the police, which resulted in the death of an innocent person and several others sustaining various degrees of wounds. Mr. Speaker, what saddens my heart is that when the innocent person was gunned down by the police, a good Samaritan lady went to his rescue, and she was equally gunned in her arm. Subsequently, several other persons who wanted to come to his aid were warned by the police to stay off, or else they would equally be gunned down, including the deceased's own children. They left the deceased unattended for hours until he finally died in the scorching sun. Mr. Speaker, was this situation not avoidable? Mr. Speaker, I pray your outfit to invite the regional minister, the RESEC of Bruno Region, and the National Security Minister, the Interior Minister, to appear before this August House and answer questions to what led to the demise of the innocent persons and the injuries sustained by the other persons, since they assured me that the situation was under control and they could contain the excesses. Also, they should assure this August House of measures they are putting in place to restore peace and calm without aggravating the situation, taking into account the polarized nature of the situation in Sampa. Mr. Speaker, I once again pray your outfit to constitute a committee to investigate the cause of this unfortunate and avoidable situation in Sampa. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We are pushing to the Munyan for and one sem and the equity by no. Now, Okasa, we are pair and I would Munyan for non so name Rashiba Jenny. Ya, Ojina de Ma, this year was subbing about 1 person so. Yura, Honorable Eugene Boachi entry with Munyan for and so Ebeka Sakaka at the fast somewhere need the Yonko Rashiba Jenny Kain. No Chemwa, Sampa Chrono, and in crowd will be a Aka, 1 Yinara Aka Asantimai Council. Now, Asantimai Council so. The teacher Coco Vieno, a year at Santahene, and this is Sampa Santamai Council on the Santahene and what to me, so seeing him, I was Sampa Maimu, said the Wayano on a Santamina, and the air one a Jenny Tias, so said Santahene or no one could not rather than him. Now I can actually the Sefata, so it's not Kunyasu, ya finding Niger tune. Now Precope Bruno Maxna baby, so more Entiasia, that's a hard dream pa. Now, when you for agency do a biana or dear Cacasa says something in the crow, and found the baby could do, says something like I say we are. And you can say a cobas, I see a tram original house of chiefs be our baby, and now almost so Abayi or tomb for no crow, then someone. Now, no region, a church Shabaco Semuka, and our castle request seem to be a term. I had Robo and the Japek rooms and some, yeah, could be more. Now, and Tiasia, I had my uncle, Yankotier, Honorable Eugene Boachi entry, with Munyan for. Ya or no any Rashiba Jenny was subbing about 1 person so on so ye ya or the buy a kind of fast and we are bar. There can be a better us.
Honorable Member for Subin.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker. I wish to contribute to the statement ably made by Honorable Frederick Ahinkra, MP for German North. Mr. Speaker, I wish to also correct some factual inaccuracies in what he has presented to the House this morning. Sampa falls within the administrative control and purview of Otunfo, His Royal Majesty Osei II, Asantehene. Mapa. Sampa is part of Asanteman. Therefore, Otunfo installs all paramount chiefs within his administrative area. It is therefore unfortunate for a matter of such nature, a very sensitive matter, when it comes to the installation of Dormaahene or paramount chiefs within the Asanteman area to be determined by the Bono Regional Council or the Bono Regional House of Chiefs. That is also very unfortunate. Right Honorable Speaker, Sampa and Sampa, Drobo, and Japikon. It's so unfortunate Honorable Eric Opoku is not here. I think he's a great historian when it comes to these matters. As a former regional minister, these issues came before him and how he dealt with them. These areas have been a burning or a melting pot for Asanteman, with the Supreme Court judgment going against Drobo, handing over the entire land under the old Drobo jurisdiction to Japikrom. No, it was Drobo to Japikrom. Drobo to Japikrom. So Drobo doesn't have a land now. It's all under the jurisdiction of Japikrom. Mr. Speaker, it behoves on the Otunfo to bring these matters to Malaysia and deal with them as custom demands. Why certain people within the old northwestern part of Asanteman, the Bono East, Ahafu, and what have you, wants to determine these serious, delicate chieftaincy matters under the Bono Regional House of Chiefs is also a very unfortunate situation. And we are calling on all stakeholders, MPs, paramount chiefs, the lot, to understand the supremacy of Otunfo when it comes to Asanteman matters. These things are crafted and well documented in the Chieftaincy Act as to his control over such areas. And Mr. Speaker, Without further ado, I think I'll end here by saying that we will tread cautiously and leave such chieftaincy matters to those who are mandated to do them or to play such roles in ensuring peace and stability in such regions. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
I don't hear Busia sa ena etie sene honorable Eugene ekaye no honorable Eugene Boachi entry asantema bu de santene nko a ena ewotumi se osiman hene ewo na santema mu na asantema no se de okaye no aya na bebre no adwen se aya santema ntemu de broni kasa ashanti region no nanso ekwa a ekowra hafu nyinara efa bunu mantam no mu efa bi afa bunu east efa bi ene nkurotu ahodo aka rara no ma ewo timantem enti se ayankunya ho sensem ewo Sampa tem wo de a santene ka na etwa oye ka etwa ewo saa afem wo yento aso na eno amu na afa onimonyamfo ya ono nso ye mahye bedwani ade ma ade hye ye wo German South Honorable Williams Okofo Date ono nso onimonyamfo e ba abonten enso kasa kakra se asemu a ne nua mahye bedwani ogina wo de ma ade hye ye wo German North e kan sense omu na wo ye German fo German etifi ena Sampa wo ena German anafo ho ena dodobo wo entimente me wase ya ekoso ewo eye Sampa German no fi sebi kakra ho popoye aka won ye wo German South ye dodobo esanse o kompotem ho a eba ne se cashew nom ene no baye kwadwuma ekoso dwadi ekoso pa ye boa ma bunu mantam no ankasa enso for the tuma preference se ko ba cement me wase bi koso na ha adwen ama asundwie entimi enkoso ewo German no fo a enye omonko a enanya de mo ba beta German South and now so I have no man taming na wasa ka bibi ka ho se bi yewura osaje for se ade yo na Jiman Badu otoso mi do Dormaahene ono so wo yo bi a ono na ye president and I say okobno regional house of chiefs ni na o panyini ya wo tena dwam ehwe madwumadie bia na nanom ensem ka ye bia ekoso na osaso ye mani mfo nti won na wo su se bibi sa na akoba o mo ntonsa emfamfre ye na Dormaahene na ono so betime de nim die kakra ya wo abeboa ama Sampa ho akonya ho sensem no awieye pa ya enye asem ketwa na no de oka asem no a ena mrashibe sabi onimonyamfo a da wotena adwamu first deputy speaker of parliament and say nanom madagoroma se empo ekomjina house a enye se yekobo asomesi na obentendin se ono ena enkotena asem no mu na onka na emom eye woni a judicial committee woni ehwe emra ho sensem ade aseni ho sensem no wonmo a ene betna so ahwe amasudwe aba yankonye nkotie yewura odimonyamfo Williams Okofo Date ya wono ene mrahye bedwene ogina wo de ma de hye ye wo German anafo ono so asem wo de tudwa ye ba de akabe abusua ye de besom
German North. Mr. Speaker, this statement should not generate any debate, but I want to make a small comment on what Honorable Member of Subin said. German South is a capital of Drobo, and in his submission he mentioned Drobo Traditional Council and some other areas that falls in the jurisdiction of Otumfuo. Mr. Speaker, I want to state here that German South, Drobo, as the capital, Drobo Traditional Council, is not in the jurisdiction of Otumfuo. I will go straight to comment on the statement made by the Honorable Member of Parliament for German North. Mr. Speaker, German North is a very important area in the Bono region, especially in economic activities. Sampa, as the capital of German North, is a place for a whole lot of commercial activities. It's a place where in the German district we have our farm yam markets. When you go to German North, on Mondays they have a market day. And Mr. Speaker, some of the products you see there, mainly market, some of the products you see there are mainly farm produce, like yam. They are yam farmers. And also, Mr. Speaker, cashew is the main cash crop that has actually prevailing in German North and the German South. Mr. Speaker, these disturbances in German North has actually affected the whole of the German, both North and the South. Especially, Mr. Speaker, the cashew season is very close. We are in December, and by the month of January, we will have foreigners arriving from all parts of the world. Last 2 weeks, I was in German North, and I even saw some Indians and Vietnamese already in the town looking for accommodation, preparing to buy into this cashew business. Mr. Speaker, the disturbances in German North, if you listen to the maker of the statement, he said he received calls and people were closing shops. People were hiding in their houses. They couldn't come out. If nothing is done to curtail or prevent this kind of chieftaincy issues in the region and then area, Mr. Speaker, I think it's going to have a very negative effect on the economic activities of the area. As he rightly mentioned, German North is also a border town and borders one of the regional capitals of Ivory Coast, that is Bontuku. We all transact business across the border area. If this chieftaincy issue is not resolved, Mr. Speaker, it will be very difficult for our brothers on the other side, that's the Ivorians, to come in and for us to also go there. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to pray your outfit to encourage the Interior Minister, the RESEC, the DISEC, Mr. Speaker, to put their house in order and move in quickly and ensure that peace is prevailed. There is peace in German North. Mr. Speaker, recently, just last week, it was a Farmers' Day. But when you go to German North, they couldn't do their Farmers' Day just because of these disturbances. So you can just imagine, if we allow this thing to continue and we don't find solution to it, Mr. Speaker, it's going to be a big blow and a disturbance to all the economic activities that we have in the area. Mr. Speaker, I also want to appeal to Osajifo Osiadeyo Ajimambedu II. He is the president of the Buno Regional House of Chiefs, and this thing is happening right in Buno Ahafo. Osajifo is a High Court judge.
Abusuanti sa na etie na nyina ko wie no na ho behia se odumonyamfo ambusdari ya ono ne opanyini anase mahibedwani ogina wode ma adehye ye wonandom abato on peso aso no ono anso ene oswafo ya wo hwe interior omanyi ajuba bia bambo ho nsem kakaka ni nyinara eka na ho no na woso yi nsem ano echeche nsem no nti ono abo ambusdari enso be cheche nsem mu dia koso ema entiase eye adwuma se nyese bia na fa no won ahye da so kokum nipa anasa positive koso okudiawu nempo etuo ya etoye ema ne ka de hye no bi ma ba ko ye nyame dia no timamufo na wo ho no a won yese won tiase ema so ya nkoso no a ebu bi tutuo ye ma ka ade hye no ba ko nyese post ni bi ekotutuo ade kum nipa busua ye nkotie won abo ambusde remre ye ba de aka bia ye de asom
Yaw Amankwa, whose statement is clear and specific, is headed a statement by the Honorable Frederick Yaw Amankwa on the urgent need to restore peace in Sampa. And I think that his statement has been spot on, and I thank him because security is a collective responsibility. And I expect members of Parliament to show interest as he has shown by making contacts with various security institutions. Mr. Speaker, he didn't make contact with me, but you can see that he is reporting of events that he was informed of, and I do understand very much. Let me start by emphasizing that the Ghana Police Service is committed to ensuring that peace in German Sampa is secure. Indeed, in paragraph 4 of his own statement, the last two sentences, Mr. Speaker, I read, the police service, with a swift intervention, were able to restore calm and peace. Now, Mr. Speaker, let me distinguish between security and chieftaincy. The law is clear that chieftaincy matters are to be handled by traditional authority, commencing traditional council, regional House of Chiefs, National Council, and from there to the Supreme Court. All other aspects of the chieftaincy may require some intervention by High Court and some motions. But having said that, the Constitution is clear and the executive is committed to making sure that it does not involve insurrection chieftaincy. In this matter, it is clear that since 2007, there has been a vacant stool, the paramount stool of Sampa. And in June this year, the Member of Parliament that stated, but let me be specific, on 22nd June 2023, the Asantehene Council, who had the attendance of all the 3 gates present, gave a ruling in favor of one side. The parties went to the Asantehene and submitted themselves to the Asantehene Council. The only interpretation for any lawyer is that they see the Asante King as their own God. Mr. Speaker, a ruling was given on 22nd June 2023. From that time, there was no violence. As the Member of Parliament rightly points out, he says in November, and I'll help him, November 23rd, 2023, the Sampa Traditional Council issued a notice for the installation of the victorious party before Asantehene Council. Mr. Speaker, it is clear that due process is the key. The MP is not aware, neither am I aware, that there has been an appeal from that ruling. And let me give free legal advice. When you are dealing with a paramount chief in a different region, the venue of original jurisdiction is the National Council, National House of Chiefs. So if a paramount chief from Upper East is taking on or questioning the paramount chief of Northeast or Upper West, the place for original jurisdiction is the National House of Chiefs. There is no mention by the honorable member who made the statement, and I'm not aware, the security infrastructure is not aware of any due process taken against the ruling. Mr. Speaker, I would like to assist my honorable member of parliament who genuinely was concerned about the way the security agencies and ministers were reacting. It is because by the law we are restricted to maintaining the peace. We cannot determine a matter of chieftaincy. So it starts from Asantehene Council, it comes down to Sampa Traditional Council, and therefore what RESEC and the police will do is to ensure that peace is not disturbed. Mr. Speaker, and therefore there was no disturbance of peace until 30th November. And 30th November was the day on which the chief was to be installed. The paramount chief was to be installed. Now, Mr. Speaker, on that day, the police saw a group of youth, 150 youth. Please. Yes, the police counted it. Please. The police counted it. The police actually engaged them for 2 hours. Their target wasn't the police. They were there to disrupt or prevent the sub-chiefs who were coming to the occasion. So the police engaged them and told them to take it easy. After 2 hours, the youth left the police and started firing. And Mr. Speaker, let me assist my colleague here. They started firing. The police commanded the police officials to fire only into the air. Only into the air. Yes, warning shots. So the impact of the warning shots was what dispersed the group ultimately, but it left a number of people injured. 10 police officers, including an officer who went to Fountain Care Hospital to be treated, 11 civilians who went to Sampa District Hospital. The person who was shot by the youth, not the police. Yes, on 4th December, Mr. Speaker, after the dispersal, the police picked 7 suspects on the spot, and later on, those who ran away, 4 more were arrested, and they appeared before court on 4th December in Sunyai, and have been remanded to reappear on 13th December 2023. Mr. Speaker, let me emphasize that the police always and continues and would also in this case subject all their actions to the Professional Standards Bureau to ascertain if all the police operatives who were in this operation did the right thing. The man who has been killed will have a bullet in him. There will be an autopsy. We would know which bullet is in him, and we will be able to continue with the investigation. But as we sit now, there is peace in Sampa, and we are going to maintain it. Mr. Speaker, whatever people think about who is what is left to the traditional councils. Anybody who has any doubts, go to that. Go to due process. But as at today, we are not aware of any appeal against the ruling of the Otumfo. We are not aware of any court action restraining anybody, and therefore the police were there to maintain peace, and so we have done. Let me assure the Member of Parliament that in this contact, he didn't contact me. I was probably difficult to find, but I am a person whom a number of lawyers here would testify that I have a lot of knowledge as far as the chieftaincy processes are concerned, and I would give him free assistance and advice. But let this house not be a house which tends to usurp roles and investigation. What investigation is that? there's a chieftaincy matter. All the parties submitted themselves to the Asantehene. He gave a ruling, and that is it. There should be appeals, and there should be action, National House and Supreme Court. Neither of that has taken place. Mr. Speaker, we should not allow this House to begin to declare for one chief or the other. I don't declare for any chief or the other. I'm talking of the facts that are on the ground, and ours is to maintain peace. If the MP thinks that as of today, there's any reason to think that the police are not enough and what we should do, we would do. But let me make it clear that this country is rule of law. If you are dissatisfied with a situation, you go to due process. You then take the law into your own hands. And I want to say that the police did not encounter any elders. It was on November 30th, they had 150 youth who they dealt with. I would advise my dear brother who appears is a young like me to do us, cooperate with us, and let's make sure that there is peace and security. And another honorable member got up from South, German South, and is complaining about the situation. I don't know. If there is a security situation in your constituency, get to me. Don't wait until there's another explosion. But for the statement that has been made, I thank him very much for making the statement. I encourage him to continue to be with us. But let this House respect the separation of powers, independence of the judiciary. Let democracy rule. But Mr. Speaker, we are prepared from the police at the end of the day to give a report to the Defense and Internal Committee of this House to deal with it, and demand Defense and Interior of this House to deal with it, and at that level we would be able to advise ourselves. Mr. Speaker, thank you for this, but let not this be an occasion for people declare for one chief or another. That is not our remit. It's the remit of the traditional councils, traditional council, regional house of chiefs, the national house of chiefs, and Supreme Court. And where you have paramount chiefs from two different regions, the place of original jurisdiction is the national house of chiefs. With these words, Mr. Speaker, I thank you, and let not anybody begin as a result of this to make statements that will inflame passions anywhere else and give us security problems. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I don't teach me anyone some cows na masumo for ambusdary and so no asem or the two jar and yako akutia by any asem keto akwa busu bia asem wa ye kan uhuniti ehuni nan esa se twedi na hyase asem no de akotwe na ba na woni mu a ni nyina ne se sampa man hene foforo ya yewura amakwan se onso anche kuro no na fe womra me so anche no manhia hemfie na ne ometena kunya so se sampa man hene na won hwe sampa man so enfama yewura de otekrawe ene bra woma so tumfo se tu ya otoso mienu na sangba jafra ya otoso emienu na sane asante amamre ne amane ete no bosumi du baako ye twam ne da na toso aduasa na e wo se oside che kuro no na enam se sampa ka chidom fekuo ho nti na nanom chidom fo ye wasante mamu ni kumase ya Oheneba hia hene no eka ho na adawo mase hene no afina na sabe akuro from hene na nanom aka wonyinara eka ho bi ekopie mo sampa se okoboa kota wonua no achi na dwumadi na akoso tote pa na dwumadi na kwaso abedu ne pomponso ya ewia ne sa ena emrantie bi osusu se wo mo so ya dehia o sampa na asem ye course no ayewura ebu asem masum dwaba na obi agya tu no mo de wo so mo te ase a enye yie no nti wo mo mpene ema sa na sangba jafra ya otosum ye no sampa man ne fofura se bi oba abatina kunya se wo mo mpene ema ni so ayan koso ema o medi akunya no nti tutututu na mentime wanse bi ba ema no nti nipa ba ko bi fa mu hwere ne kra nkwa aweho mu ema enso sabi eprepra ya na enya asem ketu akra yenko ne ko adwumadie no enso aya no e course no na ade fefa na e course wa kire mentime wanse ba ya nei ama sesi a ina ye ka eja wadu ye ba ya to aso
Mr. Jude Sanga, Mekan Jinge Sanga, say Nanani, Nana Samba Jafla, Minanani, Nana Ulkwame Jabori, Minanani, Nana Sanaja, mi ofani ofisuna otosu biinu ena Sampa nananu edisun Sampa man ena Sampa man ofisu nananu mi nana Saga jafla a metosu biinu mi ba betwaso mi di no kre asudwe ena nkabom ena mi di bu Sampa man se manyesa bitu Denisana.
Abianti abusua saa na etie enso ewo honom tie basra nanom atenam kunwa emrantie no titiro sabi ye nyina ya ade baako trosem kwa akasa yemfa ni die ema de ni die se no abakosem amamre ni amane ame ate ase se Sampa santene na ne kuro sabi santene na ne kuro akikire a bewie santene asem be pie santene anim afani afa mo kan nyinara obiara wo ya asem fi original house Bono Original House of Chiefs e bedu santene anim say santene na korie ne dia e ma yewura de ne ntomwase na badaye ne tema sabi na botre ya sabi na botre otimi ade kum tontom eyi ntontom akoma wode tena asem no so e ma obi abo ne nkuro e kira abakoso so na esitie e ma no ko wie say ye de ya baako e na kuya obetena so na so mu nyinara mo ya de baako tinka e ko ba na say na yewura kantwa santema wura ono ani kuro na ono akuro a ono awayo na wasi hene anasa wojina kire se this year we na mamre kwa so sefata na fei yesi choka ene bu ebebrebe amamre kwa so anano mpanyifo wadaroma ekoba ne sei eyesa na ha dwen se si this year ya wahwe ne kran kwen okọ yentimi nzampa ne bankwa biem se bi wiase adure yinyina ye pra hwe mpuntuo yira santene wo yi abia mpuntuo ene asundwe na oprede ma na santeman oprede ma na this year nyira ama bia ka Ghana nyina da ekoba sa eya ne ha dwen ti e besre woni a akoma abasoro se yemfa ni die ma yira santene na santene ena ne kuro amamane amane ena odi aye adwuma ya yedai abako ena benya na nyina yemfa ntai na sangba gafra ya otosumienu achi na ontena sampa kunya so masu dwemra na yebesre se yenua a ohwe ne kran kwa no nyame fa ne kran sieye na wonchira abusua nyina re sanse nyina ra ya ade baako enso abusua ti sa ena tie yebusua edi sampa nkunya won sensem yi achi na de be piafiri mu ababiara ya babiara e baba somo amasundwe enso awieye se ne sesia na samba gafra emze amamre kwanso enche obeba menhia na wabiswai e de akire yewura na ama bibia awieye na fa se enti asemo ase no se ne a speaker of parliament ne woni aka ekan no amamre kwanso bibisa ho na wonti ase ayi national house of chiefs enom ene supreme court ho bibia sentimi nko so esanse yira santene na kro no ene de antimo ina yentie na yenya ise ye hyehyehye bia no ase se monye de ensem fata ekoma ne sa kro no bo a ye a ene ye nchirima ene bebre nya sa na santene ehwe de amane kro asudwe no pe edi amane kro ntie de nyina ebesi ewa ha na se enconforma tap cent adaba frufin the guitar business entrepreneurship and now so Oheneba Media Institute na me na bi hwe me ewo Amsterdam abrochimemu mi amena na madie nyina me na kona du oni okuno Mr. Kwasi Ajiman Prempe mo hwe me wo Amsterdam abrochimemu tafunsha yeso na mo fie okumase ana nyame nkoso anhira na onyam kese da abia onto nhyiransu engumoso me na kona du woni okuno Mr. Kwasi Ajiman Prempe ya wo Amsterdam abrochimemu abusuya brepam ye behia makram bye
Sampa bihatia Oheneba Media open news papa Oheneba Media ensem we koso Oheneba Media asem papa wo ho Oheneba Media asem kase bi asie Oheneba Media Sempa wo mu Oheneba Media Sempa wo mu obi ametie